Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Horchata Mamita and I'm back with another little chit chat with me. I hope you guys are enjoying the recent content I've been posting. Just like me diversifying my content, exploring like the topics that I want to talk about a little bit more and just changing it up because again, vlogs are really fun, but like let's add some variety here. Let's actually talk about some serious shit, you know? Because I think especially at this day and age, like in my 20s, I've been growing so much, I've been learning so much, like there's so much I have to say about a lot. And I feel like let's talk about it. Let's create a space where we can talk about it. Because I'm sure a lot of us are feeling the same way. I know I'll prep for this little chit chat because I got my little Dunkin' in my hand. If y'all were wondering what my orders were as of recently, I've been really feeling blueberry. I used to not be like a blueberry fan before. I will say that. Like one of my close friends, Quincy, if he could make his name blueberry, he probably would. Because that man, he loves two things. He loves his camo, he loves blueberry. I didn't get the hype before. I was like, it's okay. I don't really see like what it really did to a drink or whatever. But long story short, I'm a blueberry girly now, okay? Blueberry matchas, blueberry lattes. Maybe moving forward, I'm just gonna like mention my current coffee order. All my coffee girlies, I'm thinking about y'all. Honestly, I use the same few over and over again, but sometimes I like to switch it up. So I got a medium iced coffee with caramel swirl and blueberry shots and oat milk. This is what it looks like. It's giving very watered down because one of my character flaws is that I wait until my coffee damn near melts before I really drink it. Honestly, but if you watch my last video, you'd understand that that's also so I don't spike my sugar. Anyways, that's my order from Dunkin' today. I'm cooking at home and drink my coffee at home. So I like to treat myself here and there, which is related to today's video about manifesting your dream life and essentially no longer self-sabotaging, because I think a lot of us tend to do that in big and small ways, depending on what's going on in the inner world. How we carry ourselves in this world is very much influenced by our belief systems about ourselves, about the world, about our possibilities, like all of these different things. And so in order to really change the external, I feel like we have to start within. What does that mean? I'll tell you what that means. That means, first of all, thinking about how you perceive yourself, okay? Because again, you project however you perceive yourself onto the world. What you think of yourself, what you believe about yourself is also projected in your actions, in how you present yourself. And I think in a lot of ways, you know, it could be cyclical in nature in the sense that how you present yourself can also influence what you think about yourself and how you feel about yourself and your beliefs. But I think initially, like at our core, we all have a set of belief systems. They might change, but like generally we have a set of belief systems about, again, who we are, what our purpose is in this world, or maybe we don't feel like we have a purpose in this world, how we should navigate this world, what's possible for us in this world, etc., etc. And as I think we experience different things, we either reinforce the beliefs that we already have, or we, to some degree, like maybe morph the ones that we have into something else. All to say that's why it's very intentional to think about your belief systems, because they play a huge role in like who you end up being and who you end up becoming. So I think before we even get to the point where we're applying ourselves, we're like really mastering skills and acquiring our goals, it's very important to think about like, where am I at now? In my case, who is Estella at her core? I feel like that very much does influence like what you end up doing in the world, how you end up showing up, etc., etc. So essentially the world ends up being whatever you think it's going to be. You end up being whoever you think you are. Let that sink in, because your thoughts influence your beliefs. Your beliefs influence your emotions. Your emotions influence your actions. All these different things are very interconnected, and in order to, once again, like really master control over your life and how things pan out, you have to be very real with yourself about the way that you are thinking about things, like what your inner world, what your mind really looks like. Like if you take a deep look at your thoughts, at your beliefs, what are they saying? What are they telling you? Again, about the world, about yourself, about others. Sometimes it is a matter of just like doing a different action, behaving differently, and that then in effect changes, you know, the inner world, changes your beliefs, changes your thoughts, influences all those things. But generally, you have to like get at the root of the problem, which is in your head, what are your capabilities? What are the possibilities in this world? Like, is the universe in your favor? Is God protecting you if you're spiritual? All of these things really influence the way that you navigate your life, because again, they set certain parameters around things. Like your frame of mind really influences how you feel like you should or you can. And it can also give you a level of discernment when there is confusion, where there is a lack of clarity. So with that being said, the first step is just asking yourself and being real with yourself about how you see this world. What are your beliefs? What are your thoughts? All of these different things. 2 is asking yourself, okay, this is where I'm at. Where do I want to be? If I could get a dream life, what would that look like? And being very specific about that. Like, what car would I be driving? What house would I have? What type of person would I be? And this is where kind of like spirituality seeps in. But like, if my higher self looked a certain way, what would she look like? What would she be wearing? How would she carry herself? How would she talk about herself? How would she talk about others? How would she treat others? Like, these are all very specific and important questions to ask, because they really give you a concrete idea of what you're working towards. You have to be so specific about it that you can visualize it. That's why things like vision boards are super important, because at least for people like me too, who need to visualize like what they're working towards, who really like learn and understand things through visuals, it's a lot easier to understand what your future looks like or what your dream life looks like when you can actually see it. So for me, it's really helpful to, when I can, you know, at the start of each year or towards the start of each year, creating that vision board. I don't think that you just wake up one day and get everything that you want. I think you accomplishing your goals, you getting to your dream life and creating your dream life is a matter of you implementing daily habits, about you establishing a weekly routine, a daily routine. The accumulation of those habits, of those patterns, of those behaviors is what essentially leads you to your dream life. So I think once you have like a visual and an idea of like what the future ideally would look like for you, it's important to break that down into, okay, what are my micro goals in order to essentially help me reach that dream life. I think it might be helpful to just like show you guys what one of my vision boards looks like. I created 2 this year. One was like based on the things that I value, the things that are important to me, and that I really want to focus on this year. And I'll leave a picture of that right here. But I did that one in Canva. So it was a digital vision board. And I also, lately I've been manifesting a lot, honestly, which that's another story for another day. But me and my close friend Cheyenne were talking about doing vision boards together too. And we happened to end up going to a vision board party. Again, when you speak it into existence, the Lord, the universe delivers. So the opportunity came right after we talked about it, again, which is not a coincidence to me, but I think I wanted to use that vision board as an opportunity to focus on my dream life and what I wanted that to look like. So I think it's important to envision multiple things, like not only like, hey, what's important to me right now, like what do I feel passionate about, but also, again, if we can take away all limitations, which a lot of times we set them on ourselves. Once again, everything's mental. At least most things are mental. Once you take away these limitations, what would my reality look like? That was kind of like what my whole vision board like was based in. So this is what it looks like. Hopefully you guys could see it. I have like my dream houses, like relaxation, self-care. That's a lot of what I want my future to consist of. Marriage, love, content creation slash creativity, beauty. I don't know, I think beauty is just something that I value a lot. Not in a superficial sense, but like, again, when I look good, I feel good. So I have like this little model here. I have some sayings that I thought were like inspiring, like focused and fabulous, because facts, like I'm trying to be about my business, but I'm also trying to be fashionable, and I'm also trying to pop out when I do it. You know, you can do both. Some luxury items, because I think at a certain point I would like to like treat myself to really nice things. Friendship, like being able to celebrate my wins with my girls. Having friends that are like girl bosses and like are about their shit. Absolutely. Like a dream car. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like the gist of it. Like the dog that I want. And then some acting things, like Zendaya's in here a few times, and J-Lo with her like billboard. That's really like the gist of it, but it could be digital. Again, you could do that on Canva. You can do it with construction paper, a magazine. Hopefully that gave you like an idea of what that would look like, which I'm sure a lot of you guys already know. That's kind of the direction that my vision board went. But yeah, I think once you like ask yourself like, what type of life do I want? Then that's when we start breaking it down. Okay, this is the future that I'm working towards. These are the things that I value. These are the things that motivate me, that make me happy, that make me feel like I'm, you know, my best self, my higher self. And break it down into, okay, so what are my micro goals this year? Let's start at this year. 1 5-year, 10-year plan. I think if you are a little bit more fluid and flexible, and really have an exact plan for like 10 years from now, like having an idea of what you want to accomplish in the next 5 years and what you want to accomplish in the next year, at the very least, could be really helpful. So for me, I know like in 5 years, I'd probably like to have my home purchased. I'd probably want to be married. I'd probably want to have at least 1 kid on the way, if not already have a kid. I think those are like my main goals. Probably there's some like financial, like salary related goals that I have. One of my other major goals is doing a bigger project for my acting career, like just landing a bigger gig. I've been doing a lot of like local gigs, but I think landing a gig that has a higher budget, like I think that would be really energizing for me. Again, if we exceed that, that's great, that's dandy, but I think those would be like my main goals to start with for the next 5 years. And because I know that, I can then transition into, okay, this next year, what are my goals? So that way I feel like it's a lot more digestible than being like, oh my gosh, in the next 5 years, like this is what I have to accomplish. Like, let me like give everything like my 120% constantly. Babes, that's gonna lead to burnout. Babes, we're only human, okay? Let's relax for a second. It's coming from me, because I'm like type A. I'm like very, sometimes overly ambitious, and I get paralyzed by what I have to do instead of like, again, making it digestible to the point where I'm energized about what I have to do, about what I should do, not have to. Because I think that even that framing of it feels like obligatory and like just like heavy. Like these are things that we don't have to do. These are things that we have the opportunity to do. These are things that we should do if we want, again, to get to where we want to get to. And I think that even that language, which is why things like, again, unpacking your beliefs, reframing are really important, because even when I just said that, like that felt a lot lighter. I don't have to do these things. I can do whatever I want with my time. I can do whatever I want with my 20s, but how can we live an intentional way where we're setting ourselves up for success to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish in our lifetime? Because girl, we only live once. And I truly do believe that the world is your oyster. And if your mind is set on something, like you are very much capable of accomplishing whatever it is that you want to accomplish. So what are my micro goals this year so I can accomplish what I want to accomplish in 5 years, so that I can, you know, work towards being the person I want to be and living the life that I want to live? Again, I think that's a matter of like being sort of like specific with that. Like, okay, I want to land a huge acting gig in 5 years. What does that mean for now? Okay, that means I'm going to be taking acting classes because I'm going to be disciplined about it. I'm going to be applying to and auditioning for and landing smaller gigs regularly. And I'm not going to like go through all of my micro goals for this year. I also believe in moving in silence to some degree. So like, I'm not going to list all those things, but I think it's important to have that idea of like, okay, this year, what can I accomplish to get myself to this point or closer to this point, you know? I think when you ask yourself, what are, you know, my micro goals this year? Like when it comes to content creation for me, when it comes to acting for me, when it comes to, you know, maybe my health for me, all these different things, like creating SMART goals based off of that, like making it very specific, making it something you could measure, you know, you could scale. After you set all of those, then asking yourself, okay, make it even more digestible. What habits do I need to have to be able to accomplish these things this year? We're talking about like mental health, for example, and being in a better place mentally. Maybe it's a matter of finally going to therapy. Maybe it's a matter of checking in with your friends more regularly because that helps your mental health. Like, I think, again, making it very concrete what you need to do, what you should do to get you to that dream life makes it a lot more feasible for you to get there. Because it's not a matter of like, oh my gosh, like I have to accomplish this thing. Where do I go from here? No, you know what you should do. You have an idea of what you should do. It's just a matter of executing. And that's where discipline, you know, comes in. That also gives you a sense of what you should prioritize right now. And again, I think that's why it's very useful to like have a vision board where you're focusing on what your dream life looks like and also what you value. Like looking at those two visually can help you understand, okay, what are my priorities this year and what needs to fall off my priority list or like be knocked down a little bit. Because we can't, like, realistically speaking, I think especially when you're very ambitious and you want to do it all, like you try to focus on so many things that you're paralyzed. You're not even allowed to like move forward into things that really matter to you at this season of your life, in the season of your life. Like, I think everything comes at the expense of something else. And realistically, you cannot do it all. And something I'm learning myself personally is that each year it brings a different season. So this year might be my, you know, creative year. Might be my year when I'm really in my creative bag, where all the juices are flowing, like, and because of that, maybe, I'm just giving hypotheticals, mind you. Socially, I'm not going to be as, you know, social with my friends because I'm focusing on me. Because it's so easy to want to do it all. And it's like when you're already in it, when you're like focusing on a thing that you intended to focus on, and something else like falls off your priority list, you start beating yourself up and be like, oh my gosh, like I'm just not doing a good job. Like, why can't I do it all? Why can't I like keep up with this one thing and also focus on the things that I want to focus on? We need to be graceful for ourselves. Again, we're only human, okay? You're destined for disappointment if you're not setting realistic expectations. If you're not setting specific expectations and realistic expectations as to what you genuinely can focus on and what you can accomplish. So I think asking yourself like those big questions are super important in the process so you're not disappointed. Like, okay, maybe I'm falling off when it comes to like my social life just a little bit. You're not falling off, actually. Even that language is not helpful. You're not falling off. You're intentionally putting less time towards this thing because you need the energy and the time to put towards this other thing. And that's okay, you know? So now, once you have an idea of what you want your dream life to look like, once you've asked yourself, where am I at now? How do I get there? What habits do I need to form? What priorities do I need to have right now? What routine do I need to have? What micro goals do I need to have to get there? I think it's important to then routinely have a way of checking in with yourself so that you can hold yourself accountable to actually doing these things. Because it's so easy to be like, I want to like land this huge movie role in the next 5 years. But it's like, if you're not asking yourself regularly, like, hey, where am I at right now? how am I doing? What can I work on a little bit more? Like, what did I do really well in? And what should I keep honing in on? Like, asking all these questions and having a regular check-in with yourself allows you to hold yourself accountable to actually accomplish these things. And I think it's also important in that process to, of course, respect what you want to accomplish, but then be able to ask yourself, like, okay, what's working, what's not. It's important to also be flexible with yourself and adaptable, because things might come up and maybe something doesn't resonate with you anymore. Maybe things have to be shifted around in order to make sure this thing can happen. So I think checking in with yourself weekly and monthly, like, whether it be verbally, if you talk to yourself, I mean, hey, I heard something about like the most intelligent people do that. So no one's knocking you for it, not judging at all. I do it sometimes. Even literally verbally asking yourself, like, hey girl, where we at? Like, what? The way that I just did that so naturally is kind of frightening, but hey, I wasn't lying. Hey, where are we at? Like, what can we do better in? I think we could do better at blah, blah, blah. Oh, I think this went really well. Maybe we should try to keep it up. Because that, I liked how that felt. I like how that went, you know, this month. Or again, it depends on like what works best for you. If you like writing, if it's helpful, like journaling. Where am I at? How did this week go? In terms of my goals, like, how do I feel I did when it came to all these different like aspects of my goals? I think also just like creating space within your friendships and your, you know, connections to hold yourself accountable, having conversations about the things that you do want to accomplish, and again, talking through like, I'm struggling with this thing. Do you have any ideas on how I could do this in a more efficient way? Do you have any tips based on your experience? Asking those questions are really important, whether it be just a friend that you know is very invested in you as a person, or someone who's in your niche and who could be like, hey, based on my experience, this is what worked for me. I think having that circle of accountability is also really important, to feel like, okay, you're holding yourself accountable, one, but you also are surrounding yourself with people who are also holding you accountable. The next thing that I think is really important is being able to stay inspired and making sure you're doing things and you're surrounding yourself with things that keep you inspired. And what I mean by that is, I think a big part of accomplishing your goals is definitely discipline, is actually, when it comes down to it, doing the damn thing. Okay, there's no way around it. You have to do it. It's better to take your time, again, to implement those habits, to be disciplined, to keep at it, be consistent, because it's harder to be knocked down from where you go when you've established all these small habits and things that support you, if that makes sense. So I think discipline is definitely like a huge part of it, but I think inspiration is also a huge part of it. So that's a matter of like continuing to look at the visuals that you made for yourself. What does my vision board look like? Let me like go back to the drawing board in a place where it is constantly in your face. I think that's how advertisement works, right? Like, you drive on a highway and you see an advertisement on the side of the road. Whether it's, you know, conscious or subconscious, now whatever you just saw is in your head. When you are, you know, going about your everyday life, that is stuck in your head. Like, say there's an advertisement for car insurance. Let's say I'm at a point where I need to get a new car insurance. I'm trying to switch over from my car insurance. It's not working anymore. What am I gonna think about? Oh, Progressive had that one advertisement. So I think in the same way that advertisement works, and making sure that you're taking up as much real estate as possible to, again, implement new beliefs or modify current beliefs, I think it's important to do that with the life that you want for yourself and the person that you want to be. How can I surround myself with this thing so that it's top of mind? For me, it's a matter of putting my physical vision board like right next to my bed. I mean, I would love to somehow find a way to like hang it up or something, because I think that'd be a cool idea. But as of right now, just like keeping it right there next to my bed, so when I wake up or when I'm like walking around my studio, I see it. It's not hidden somewhere. It's not thrown in a drawer or anything. It's not in a closet. It's in my line of vision. When it comes to my Canva digital vision board, I've put that as my wallpaper on my phone. So whenever I lock my phone, unlock my phone, it's right there. Again, I don't have to like go out of my way to like see the things that I want for myself. They're like surrounding me. So it's like it adds a level of inspiration because yeah, doing the thing initially, like doing the vision board was super helpful, super inspiring. But again, we want to get to a point where we're maintaining that energy. We're constantly inspired. We're constantly thinking about these things. And I think in addition to like just again surrounding yourself with the things that you want, it's important to take care of yourself to keep that inspiration alive. Like when you're treating yourself like shit, how are you gonna get any inspiration? Like, I'm a firm believer of creativity and inspiration thrive when you thrive. When you're putting yourself in spaces, relationships, places that really make you feel like you're operating your higher self. Like, I don't think it's a matter of like one day I'll become this person. It's like the small habits, the small routines that lead to that. So what does that mean? Maybe taking a little bit more time in your day to just take a walk. Maybe it means choosing a day of the week, which I've been doing, of self-care and doing your face mask, giving yourself a bubble bath. Maybe it means a daily podcast where you go on a walk or you go on a drive and you kind of just center yourself. Maybe it means reading. Maybe it means writing or saying affirmations for yourself on a regular basis. I think those things remind you that you can step into your higher self and show up as your higher self every single day. And I think it's important to treat yourself as her before you even get those things, because innately you have to believe that you deserve those things, regardless of the season of your life that you're in. And I think that's really what keeps you motivated and keeps you feeling good along the journey, because it's not just about accomplishing the things. It's about rewarding yourself. It's about creating energy for yourself to want to even get there. Like, if you're not even taking care of yourself now when it's hard, how is that going to help you even get to where you want to be, you know? And I think it could also be dangerous in that sense where it's like you feel if you were to not take care of yourself because you're not where you want to be, it's almost saying like you're not worthy of good treatment. You're not worthy of self-love until you have a certain accolade or you reach a certain milestone. No, babes, you deserve the bubble bath. You deserve the flowers. You deserve the spa day, even at your lowest. You don't need to be the lawyer before you feel like you can take some time to yourself. Also, when you get to that point, who knows if you're going to have enough time to even do a lot of those things super frequently. So it's like now is the moment to treat yourself really well. And again, in that way, pour into yourself so you are maintaining your inspiration to work towards the things that you want for yourself. I think it's important to do these things every once in a while, but I think ideally it's good to form routines to make sure you're doing this regularly. And lastly, I think it's really important to celebrate your wins, no matter how big or small, while you're on your journey to creating your dream life. So I think a lot of times, again, we tell ourselves, okay, when we get this one thing, when we accomplish this one thing, when we get to this certain point of our life, maybe we'll enjoy the fruits of our labor. And hey, I don't blame you, you know, I don't blame myself for sometimes feeding into that pattern, because we are conditioned, I think, when we're living in a country of meritocracy and we feel like, you know, we have to keep grinding. We have to keep grinding until we get to the point where we feel comfortable enough to relax, because we have to earn those things. That's what we're conditioned to do. That's how we're conditioned to operate in this country and generally in this world. So I think it's important to like tell yourself like, no, that's actually not true. I don't have to wait to take care of myself. I don't have to wait to love myself. And I don't have to wait until I get my big break to celebrate myself. Like, the small things really do go a long way, especially when it's hard to form habits. Like, once you master a small habit, that's a big thing, because like you didn't have that habit before. You're starting from scratch and you got all the way over here. Like, babes, if you don't take yourself out to dinner, if you don't get yourself a little martini, if you don't buy yourself that purse that you wanted, okay, we don't want to be like frivolous about it, obviously, but that's actually to say, even if it's like getting yourself like a coffee a latte and you try not to like spend money on coffees because you have your own coffee maker, every once in a while saying like, okay, I'm gonna treat myself because I've been on top of my shit. I had a good day yesterday. I did this one thing that I felt was really hard. I think rewarding yourself is really important because you yourself can also condition yourself just as much as external things can condition you. Are you gonna let other things just condition you? Or are you gonna condition yourself by enabling good behavior, by applauding good behavior, not good behavior like you're a fucking dog, but you know, applauding good habits and discipline and all these things that are helping you get the dream life that you want. Because a lot of the times, we're gonna be real here, okay? It's always gonna keep it real. You are not gonna feel like you're gonna get the validation externally or the pat on your back externally a lot of the time. So if it's not a guarantee that you're gonna get that from elsewhere, why not give that to yourself? Let's talk about it. I clocked it. Because you should be your biggest fan. No one else is guaranteed to be your biggest fan. We all have our own things that we're going through. We all have our hardships. Everyone's just trying to do the best that they can. So there, again, is no 100% guarantee that someone's going to be there like cheering you on. It's great to have people like that in your life. It really is. It's very important to have people like that in your life. But I think it's important to not put the responsibility on other people to give you your flowers when you can do that for yourself. I said it. The one person that's always going to be with you is going to be you. Again, everybody else is just like, that's a cherry on top. Though they're accessories, but you're the main event. So making sure that, again, you're not waiting for a huge accomplishment to feel like you can celebrate yourself is super important, because that is what's gonna keep you going. Like, babes, you deserve to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So even before you get to that dream life, like, are you gonna be miserable until then? No, like, enjoy your life. So yeah, hopefully like that resonates with you guys. We set limitations on ourselves, and sometimes it is influenced by external factors like how we were raised, like our environment, what the world tells us, like how we're conditioned as, like, depending on our identity as a woman, as a Latina, as whatever it may be. But like, I genuinely do think that the world is your oyster, and we have to like sharpen our minds to remind ourselves like, bro, we don't need to be limited. And if people are telling you like, you can't do that, you're not worthy of that, you're not capable of that, but literally be like, F you. Like, cause no, I can be whatever I set my mind on. Like, I could be a bitch right now, but I'm choosing not to be a bitch. But I could be a bitch if I really wanted to. So who says I can't be a doctor? Like, have you ever woken up and been like, damn, like, oh, I'm choosing violence today? You operate throughout your day and you're choosing violence. You set your intentions for your days, and you basically dictate the person that you're gonna be each day. So what person do you wanna be? I think it's important to ask ourselves that. When we're in a world that is constantly telling us who we are, what we are capable of, what our limitations are, like, it's important to reclaim our power and be like, actually, I'm not any of those things. This is who I am. And being very concrete about that, because that's the only way that you're going to have enough clarity and direction in your life to feel like you're making it everything that you want it to be. We're going to stop the self-sabotage. And I think self-sabotage happens because at its root, you don't feel like you deserve these things, or you don't feel like you're capable of getting these things, or you feel like these things aren't even possible in this world. But if we were to reframe that type of thinking to, I am capable, I am worthy and deserving, and whatever I want in this world exists, and there's a reason why I have a desire for it, that is what's going to help you get to the dream life that you want. Again, life is too short. We need to stop settling. We need to stop putting, again, limitations on what our lives could look like, and really be serious about what we want, because it really is whatever you make of it, if that makes sense. So yeah, y'all, thank you for hanging in here while I go on my little spiel. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. I really do want to motivate you guys to be your best selves. And I know for me specifically, like, I have these funks where I'm like, oh my gosh, what direction am I going in? And I kind of have to just recenter myself. And again, follow all these steps. Go back to, again, what am I working towards? What am I doing all this for? I can't make all these sacrifices and I can't implement this discipline if there's no clear direction that I'm going in, or if there's nothing tangible that I'm working towards. So yeah, y'all, I hope you've been enjoying these little chit chats with me. I really have been enjoying talking about these things because I feel very passionate about them, clearly. That being said, I have not really touched my coffee yet. Y'all see what I mean. But thank you for watching this video. Drop a comment down below. What's a limitation that you're no longer putting on yourself? That's a big one. That's a deep one. But I want to hear your answers because we're going to unpack those things. And again, we're going to be our highest selves. We're going to work towards being our highest selves. So also make sure you drop a comment down below of any other topic that you feel passionate about and that maybe you wish I could dive deeper into. If you did enjoy this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm gonna catch you guys during the next video.